bom, bom.
Welcome to the Too Old or Pure Gold Movie Podcast, where Gen X and the next generation revisit movies from the 70s, 80s, and 90s to see if they still hold up. In today's National Best Friend Day special episode, we're discussing the 1986 teen comedy movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I'm your host, Olen van der Leeden, representing Gen X. Joining me today is my Gen X co-host, Mathew Stockton. Hello, Mathew.
Hello, Olen.
Representing the millennials this week, we have the Cameron of our group, Sean.
Hi.
And representing Gen Z and truancy advocate, Nicole.
Hello.
Okay.
You've thrown me. I thought you were going to say dog rights like you usually do.
I did not. Before we get into this episode, just a reminder, please like, follow, subscribe, and tell a friend so we can keep bringing you this content. So, Ferris Bueller's Day Off stars Matthew Broderick, Jennifer Grey, and Alan Ruck. The movie was written and directed by the legendary John Hughes, who cut his teeth with The Breakfast Club, Weird Science, Pretty in Pink, and National Lampoon's Vacation before this, and then went on to create Home Alone, Uncle Buck after this. So I think he's one of the most prolific writer-directors of the 80s and definitely owns the teen genre. Right, Matthew?
Absolutely.
I'm going to ask you what your favorite Hughes movie is, but we'll save it for the discussion. The tagline from the movie poster is, "One man's struggle to take it easy." And I might actually adopt that as the tagline for my life. A brash, cocky high school senior, tired of skipping school to spend a boring day at home, is determined to enjoy an epic day roaring around his favorite Chicago sights, enlisting his best friend and girlfriend to join him on an adventure. You know, the problem with IMDb is it's just such poor writing. When they write these descriptions, it's rarely even proper English.
That was a rough one.
Welcome to contemporary media.
Now, for those of you that have not seen the movie, I asked my 94-year-old dad to watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off and summarize the plot. But because he's got a backlog, he hasn't done it yet. So we'll just have to press on.
Ferris Bueller is a high school student with an uncanny way of skipping classes. He wants to do it together with his girlfriend, Sloane. So, he gets his friend Cameron to impersonate Sloane's father's voice, while Ferris himself borrows Cameron's dad's 1961 Ferrari to pick up Sloane. The pair takes off for a day in downtown Chicago, including a baseball game, an art show, viewing Chicago from the Willis Tower, and last but not least, dancing at the von Steuben Day Parade. To end it all, Cameron sees the high mileage on the odometer and, fearing his dad's anger, decides to roll the odometer back, but the car reverses into a ravine. Well, Ferris and Sloane get home in time. Cameron, on the other hand, accepts response for the damage to the car. Ferris philosophizes about the enjoyments of life before it is too late. And that's the end of the story.
Whoa, I can't believe he said that.
Yeah, that was great.
That was great and or not great.
Okay, overall reaction. Who wants to say what they thought? Matthew, I really wonder whether this movie is going to age. Like, it certainly has the hype and the build-up. So maybe you and I should go before the millennial and the Z, because, I don't know, I got a hunch. Tell me what you thought, Matthew.
I still love this film. Absolutely love it. And, you know, because it's not really about skipping school, right? It's about being free, right? And, you know, if you think about it, like, everyone else is stuck in their system. So Cameron, you know, he's paralyzed by expectation and fear of his parents, and Sloane's just drifting, and Rooney is like institutional authority, and Bueller's just free. And I think I think this is like a timeless story with a lesson for us all. And I still think it holds up, like, absolutely, as a great film.
Okay, well, I mean, I enjoyed it, but Matthew, we recently did Fast Times at Ridgemont High episode, and I don't actually know the release order. But Fast Times at Ridgemont High struck me because it was such a pretty honest snapshot of what high school was like, in my opinion. Whereas Ferris Bueller for me is more like the adventure I'd wish I'd had. Like I don't think I had the guts to pull off half this stuff.
No, it's fantasy, right?
It's more fantasy than reality. But I mean, it was still fun. But the reason I wonder why it holds up is this whole era where when we were kids, Matthew, you were just expected to suck it up and go to school. Like you're sick, they're like, okay, that's fine. Now get out of bed and go to school. You're sick. Who cares? Yeah. We're in a different time now. Like I'm not sure kids would go through that much effort to skip school. I'm sure they would just flip you the bird and go out the door and say, I'm not going to school. I'm going to the mall today. You know what I mean? So that's why I think it might not age well. But lots to talk about in this movie. Sean, let's go in order of age here. Let's go millennial before Z.
Okay, I mean, this was an interesting movie, but ultimately its greatest sin is it's not that funny. It's not. It's a really interesting plot. Like the concept, the message it's trying to get is good. It falls into the trap that a lot of movies from that era does, where their attempt to make the cool kid is actually just an ass.
That's my first question when we get into the discussion, but continue.
Oh, I mean, for the most part, that's my summary, right? I like what it's trying to say. It's got some funny moments in it, but I did not overall enjoy it. I mostly found it boring, with a dash of I don't approve.
Okay, mother. So what do you think the message was from this? You said you liked the message. What's the message?
I'm skipping ahead, but I think the quote that Ferris gives at the end, and I think he gives it in the beginning somewhere too, summarizes the message very nicely. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Oh, I think you captured it nicely. Well done. Miss Z, what did you think of Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Zed.
Oh, okay. Is the rap artist Jay-Z?
In Canada, he is, yes.
Okay.
and Miley Cyrus is Kilometry Cyrus.
Okay, I don't even understand that. I'll look that up later.
Sean.
Miss
Can we
Zed.
trust this guy's taste in movies?
We'll get him back with Gymkhana.
It was so boring and cheesy in a bad way, and it had no substance. It was like I had to sit through an hour and a half of nothing.
So interesting, Mathew, eh? Like this, both of you know this movie, right? Like this movie has such hype about it.
Yeah. Oh, I've heard this movie a ton. That's why I asked to be on it, because I've never seen it, but I've heard of it so often and referenced so often.
Yeah, exactly.
Though, ironically, somehow, I don't know how, this is probably the magic of TV, but I had seen the scene where he drops off the Ferrari and the people go for a joyride in it. And I had seen the scene where they pick it up, but nothing else in the movie. And it has to be flipping through TV or something.
Yeah.
I have to say, Sean, the quote that you brought up as the, sort of the message of the movie, I liked it. And it does resonate with me. Well, let's get into the discussion here. So you sort of teased it, Sean. If you met Ferris in real life, does anybody actually like this kid? He was presented as the most popular kid in school that kind of skirted all groups.
No.
I felt like that sister the whole time.
Mathew, what do you think? Would you have liked Ferris in your day?
I think that when I watched this movie, he was a hero, right? He was fun. He was cool. I mean, in a way, like looking at it now, he could maybe kind of read a little bit sociopathic in that he manipulates everyone, faces zero consequences, and the film kind of still worships him for it. But
he's also such a horrible friend. He is cruel to his friend.
Yeah, he's just a fun guy. Yeah, I would have liked Ferris. I would have liked Ferris because Ferris he tries to pull people out of their shells and he tries to free them. And so I don't see him as a horrible friend. I see him as a great friend in a lot of ways.
I think that is, fundamentally why I dislike him intensely as a person, because you can't just yank people out of their shells. That's cruel and causes a lot of damage to people. And he is so inconsiderate, even though his goal, right? Like, the movie is in many ways Ferris trying to free Cameron from his, the strict father in a sense, right? But he's never doing it for Cameron. It's, I need a ride, I need someone to get me around, I need someone to support. It's always from his completely self-centered perspective.
But it's
I
not.
wanna
But
drive
it's
this
not
car.
really. It's not really though, right?
I think that's rationalizing someone you like.
I don't know.
I agree.
I think maybe like younger generations, Olin, like kind of, for us, Ferris sold freedom from structure, skip school, outsmart adults, roam the city. For us, for Gen X, that felt transgressive at the time for us. For Gen Z, potentially, I'm not saying Nicole specifically, but Gen Z in general, structure already feels shaky, right? School, career, even the idea of a stable path is far less guaranteed. So opting out for a day maybe doesn't feel rebellious. It feels low stakes, and maybe Nicole, that's why I thought it was boring, because we just have
I would disagree.
we have a different template on how we see it, right?
Well, there's so many things that were different, Matthew, like a principal actually having authority over kids, or that just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, all that shit was high stakes when we first saw this movie, right?
It is high stakes when I was in school too. I just don't respect someone who is forcibly trying to pry someone out of their structure. A lot of people like structure. I love structure. I would hate someone to do that to me.
So if you were a character in this film, you'd be a sister?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd be Ferris. Olin, who would you be?
I'd be Ed Rooney.
Sean, who would you be?
In this film, I don't know.
I think he'd be Cameron's dad.
Great call. That is a great call.
But it's just so inconsiderate and disrespectful to your friends to just not even think about what they want. Just be like, I want freedom from the structure, so I'm going to make you have freedom from the structure.
But they
You ever
had
stop
a
to think
great
maybe he
day.
wants the structure?
They had the day of their lives. That's the point.
But you don't know ahead of time that you're going to have that.
Yeah, it's called adventure. It's called adventure.
Not everyone likes adventure.
It's true.
We should film the anti-Ferris Bueller. We should film the same movie premise, but everything they try, they get caught or screwed up.
I was so mad that he didn't get caught at the end.
Really?
I mean, that's
yes.
fundamentally, to me, part of the problem with this movie is the lack of consequences for anything. So your view on it, Mathew, of, but they had the greatest day of their life, is suggesting that anyone could do that to anyone and do that, which is not how real life works at all. And yes, I get that it's trying to be a fantasy, but by having no consequences at any point for anything he does, he just got lucky at every turn, like an insane degree of luck. It should not have worked out to be the best day of their lives.
The only person who's going to face consequences is poor Cameron, who was dragged along unwillingly.
And they act like he's free, but let's be honest, that parent could do horrible things.
And will. The things we know about the parent, the way that this kid is so depressed, like, it's not going to go well for him.
I have so many questions about
So,
this.
Olin, in the 90s, I was in this video store in my neighborhood in London, and these two, I think they're probably foreign students from the continent, were in the shop, and this guy and girl, and they walked up and said to the store manager and I, which of these two? And they were holding something else, can't remember what it was, and Ferris Bueller. And the
Jim Cotta, probably.
the store manager and I just looked at each other and went, Bueller. Bueller and started howling with laughter, and they're like, okay, I guess it's this one, right? Like that's like the size of this movie for our age, you know?
Well, for anybody our age, this movie is iconic. Like it or not, this movie is iconic, and we hit exactly what I thought we were going to hit, which this one really does highlight some of the differences between what life was like in high school for us versus what it's like for new generations, right? Yeah. Let me ask you this, Mathew. What was your best day ever when you skipped school?
A bunch of people hired a bus and went to a amusement park, but before I got on the bus, you had to take a hit of acid.
You are Ferris. Nicole, what was your best day off? What's a great day off high school for you?
All of my good days off of high school were ones that my parents excused me for because they wanted me to have fun. Any days that I skipped on my own were because I was having crippling meltdowns from how stressful school was. I was like Cameron. I would be like, I'm sick and I have to stay home, and I would curl up in a ball and stay there.
Oh, okay.
But fun days off, I mean, my mom took me, let me leave at lunch to go to concerts with her, and that was pretty fun.
Sean, what would be a perfect day skipping out of school for you?
What would be staying home on my computer?
Oh my gosh.
I'm a millennial. A computer's my life.
I get it. So for me, taking the bus downtown,
Yeah.
going to the record store.
Oh,
yeah.
A&B
Sound.
Yeah.
Flipping through the records.
Yeah.
Quick stop at the arcade. Drain $5 worth of quarters. And then probably hit the beach on the way home.
You know, Olen, so I thought you were asking me, like, what's the one that you remember. But, you know, if I skipped out, you know what I'd do? I'd go see a matinee movie on midweek with nobody in the theater, right?
I love matinees.
I'd go to the record store as well. Absolutely. Probably go to the arcade. And I didn't have a beach, but probably just do something, sit by a river.
Nice.
I actually do think it's kind of sad that there aren't really those things anymore. The go and hang out places.
Yep. Certainly a lot less of it for sure.
You know, it's really interesting, Sean, like, because I was thinking about this when I was thinking about that story when I was in the video store, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, you're not just sitting in front of the TV, like, choosing movies through, you know, like, recommendations or looking online. Like, human beings actually would hold up movies and go, which one? Why? And you debate them. And, like, all these little interactions that are so missing in life right now makes me sad.
How many movies did we pick just from the cover, Mathew?
Very often. If there was gore on it, I'd pick it. I liked gore and slasher films when I was young.
I did that the other day. I went to an old, like a pawn shop, and I just looked at all the DVDs and I brought some home.
Did you? Cool.
That's fun.
Have you watched any yet?
I haven't, but I have a stack of Barbie movies waiting for me.
There's a stack of them?
You know,
There's
I know,
so many Barbie movies.
I had
Matthew.
no idea.
They're my childhood.
I know Sean has something to say, but I want to say one of the great times in my life was always we had this routine, me and Nicole and Sean when he was there, that we would go to the junk store on the weekend and we would look at the VHS tapes long after VHS was dead.
Right.
And you could get them for $2 each, and just
fun.
You know, there'd be 100 titles, and you just say, what are the two we want to watch this weekend? And that's how we went through a lot of these old movies.
Yeah, and sometimes you'd watch them twice because you had it only rented for the weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean, we interrupted you 6 times.
Sorry, Sean. Sorry,
okay.
Cameron's dad.
It wasn't that important. I was just going to say, I often wonder how many excellent movies are out there that I've never seen because we don't do it that way. Because I only watch movies now if people tell me it's good, not because I stumble upon it, where there used to be, like, I even remember, you know, video stores were a thing when I was a kid. I remember you just pick a random movie off the shelf, and often they were junk, but you'd find gems that I don't think I would find in the modern world because I'm not just going through them kind of randomly, right?
Absolutely, Sean. And this is sort of, I think there's a bit of Bueller in me because I do things like every once in a while on a Wednesday afternoon, I'll go to the cinema, and my rule from by myself, right? Wednesday matinee, the rule is whatever the immediate next movie is when I walk into that cinema is the one I have to watch. Like just to make it random. And I go to restaurants sometimes and say, just ask the chef if he's cooking something for his mom tonight, what would he cook her? And I'm like, don't tell me, just bring it, because I like sort of random surprises to experience things, because I so can easily get stuck into my little systems. Like I have systems for everything, right? So I like learned that I needed a system to force myself out of just like doing what I always do.
You know, Sean, the other cool thing about that experience is when you picked a movie, even if it was bad, you watched it because that's what you got.
For sure. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Especially for me, the movie store was so far away. There was nothing you could do. You were committed to that. And for me, video games were the same thing, right? Lots of mid-tier video games that people don't like that I only played because I rented it and I was stuck with it.
Yeah, but you can discover some gems. Like we all have such short attention span now. On Netflix, you put the movie on, and if it doesn't grab you in 5 minutes, you're out.
That drives
See,
me.
I have this thing where I cannot not finish something once I've started it.
Thank you,
Even if it's a TV
Nicole.
show, I like hate the TV show. I'm like, oh, I guess I have to finish this now.
And Nicole, I'm the same way. We'll get 5 minutes into a movie, and Justin's like, "This is boring," and he wants to shut it off. I'm like, "No. We started it. We have to watch it." And like the last
We are
4
committed.
minutes could make the entire movie, right?
So I have a question for Cameron's dad. So the one thing, so generally I found the adventure to be, really fun, like this idea of having the perfect day and everything they did. I'm like, yeah, take some chances, have some fun. The one thing I never would have done is taken that car out. For me, that is just too far. So Cameron's dad, the next day, what are you doing to Cameron for driving that car into the woods?
That car is so nice and so beautiful and was a pristine thing, and it hurt me inside.
I did the work, by the way. You know what that car would be worth today if you had it?
$2 million.
It's gotta be more, right? Fall?
It's 18 million.
Jeez.
What?
That's stupid. A car should not be $18 million. It shouldn't even be $2 million.
It's a classic beloved car. Like,
Yeah. Okay, Nicole, Jennifer Grey,
Love her.
this movie or Dirty Dancing? What's your pick?
Dirty Dancing.
Okay.
I mean, she was the only part of this movie that I consistently liked. But yeah, Dirty Dancing all the way. I love that movie.
She was hilarious.
Okay.
She did such a good job in this movie.
She did
really
great.
did,
I mean, I have to say, I liked her better in this. That I thought she was a more entertaining character in this than in Dirty Dancing. In Dirty Dancing, she was just sort of a pliable.
She was a little bit insipid. Yeah, this one, like, I just thought her acting chops showed more in this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of thinking we're in the era now where we have lots of female lead action films. Like, she probably would have been good at a role like that in
Yeah,
those
she
days.
would have been awesome.
She had kind of a tough demeanor. Sean, could you set up that doorbell system that Ferris had with the automatic recording, the tape when the doorbell goes off?
I mean, to some extent, I don't think I could get the body to turn over as perfectly. That was a pretty elaborate setup. So maybe a poor man's version of it.
Okay, Mathew, here's the point where I'm asking you your favorite Hughes film, and I'm going to rattle them off just so we make sure
I can
we
already
get most of the
tell
good
you
ones.
which one it is, but yeah.
Okay, you can tell me. Tell me then.
Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club. Okay, I'm going to read it because the listeners might want to know the list. So Vacation, Mr. Mom, 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, Weird Science, Pretty in Pink, Ferris Bueller, Some Kind of Wonderful, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Uncle Buck, Christmas Vacation, Home Alone. So for me, I would be number one, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I might be Uncle Buck second. And then Weird Science.
The only movie on that list other than this one that I've seen is Home Alone.
Home Alone just didn't do it for me.
I would
You've never
Ferris
seen The
Bueller
Breakfast
above
Club?
Home Alone. I've never seen The Breakfast Club, no.
We're going to do that episode, Matthew. I think that one will age better.
Yeah, I think it was.
I think our young generation will like it. Okay, I'm rolling into best parts. First thing I'm going to say is Bueller's bedroom made me nostalgic, Matthew.
Our bedrooms actually look like that, didn't they?
I know, just posters everywhere, rock posters and cars and yeah.
One of my favorite parts I found funny because it's what I do now that I work in a school, which is when the principal had to get somewhere in the school urgently. So he's sprinting down the hall, but he stops and walks like slowly and calmly by all of the windows so the kids don't see that he's sprinting.
That was fun.
Because that's what I do. I'm like, I can't let them know that I'm running in the halls because they're not allowed to run in the halls.
You can't let them know because they're not allowed to, so I can't do it. That's hilarious.
Exactly. So I'll run down the hallway and then I'll stop and I'll walk past a door and then I'll keep running down the hallway.
That's really funny. I honestly think most of the best scenes were, ironically, the school. And especially, for me, the viewpoint of the sister. I don't know why, but that's what I actually found funny, was her frustration at the, my brother is a selfish idiot moron. How can none of you see it?
I know, and everyone's like taking a collection for him and save Bueller, and she's like, ah, that's
My
you're right,
favorite
Phil.
was when someone asked her for a collection and she said something rude to him and he said, I'm sorry. And she said, you should be. And then she slapped the can out of his hands.
By the way, I did that to your grandpa once in a casino.
Yeah.
My absolute favorite scene from this movie is the museum scene. I don't know what it is, but just the way they filmed it, I just thought it was pretty cool.
See,
Yeah.
the part I
Bueller.
liked about that.
Bueller.
My favorite part of the museum scene was watching the field trip of kids go by where they're all holding hands in a little chain, and then in the middle of the chain there's 3 teenagers who just like jumped in.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
funny.
The museum scene was quite beautifully done, and you know the whole like Hughes was really good. Like the pacing and the structure of this film, you know, it kind of moves like a heist movie. You know, The Day Off is basically a series of escalating set pieces like a heist movie, and I love the fourth wall breaking. It shouldn't work, but it does. You know, and I think the real part of this movie is Cameron's arc. I think, like, I don't think like I didn't realize that when I was younger, but now that I'm older, like this film's really about Cameron breaking through.
It is. And you know what John Hughes said about that?
What?
He said that he deliberately wrote the script this way. He said, Ferris doesn't change, Cameron does.
Yeah, he does.
So that's interesting.
I didn't think they went anywhere with that storyline. I thought there's so much you could do here with this character and the storyline of him trying to break free, and they went nowhere with it. They didn't touch on any of the actual serious problems. They were just like, oh, he had one good day and now he's cured.
And about to have the worst year of his life ever.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it turned around for him after that. We don't know.
His college fund is going to be spent on fixing that car, and he's not going to get to leave his house.
This movie could have used a time skip to see the actual results of actions, because this movie really wants you to think that Cameron had a massive revelation and was free, but everything we saw suggests that it could easily have been destroyed within 5 minutes of his father walking in that house. Actually, even if they had just had the initial interaction with the father, if he had actually, shown some growth with his father in some way, maybe there would be some value. But I don't have any reason to believe he didn't cave the second his father walked back in.
I think the best thing that could have happened to Cameron that would save his life is his father like being so angry he kicks him out, and then Cameron's just on his own and free. So
Agreed. That's what I think happened.
The best thing that could have happened to Cameron is he just goes out on his own, says big F you.
I think that probably is true. It seemed like a very bad life.
By the way, I can't wait to hit you guys with my sequel idea at the end. Okay, I got some other best parts I want to hit. So, Cameron's dad, I Love Your House. It was designed in 1953 and it sold in 2005 for $1.5 million. But I love that house, that glass house just in the center of the woods.
I also love that house. That house was the best part of the film.
Mathew, I had just generally the music was perfect. Like they had all kinds of different music and the right music for every scene.
Oh my God, was there music?
But oh yeah, by Mello. Come on, that's classic.
Oh yeah, bomb bomb.
I got distracted and I wanted to say.
He was going to sing another full chorus.
All right, go for it.
No, go on.
Okay, go Nicole.
I was just gonna say it's silly, but my favorite part was just in the background watching the secretary write down notes, and she just keeps pulling pencils out of her hair.
Oh.
It's like there's endless pencils in her hair. I thought that was funny.
I will say, despite my joke about the music, because mostly I thought it was nothing, but I did enjoy the float scene.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
The parade scene is so ridiculously over the top that I gotta love it.
It is ridiculous, but it worked for me somehow, and I enjoyed the way that so many people were getting into it, despite like me, Cameron.
I had a worse part on that though, Sean, and for that same scene, the scene is great, Donkashane is great, but I actually didn't remember that he lip synced it.
Oh yeah, no, he totally lip synced it.
I thought I remembered that he actually sang it, which would have been super cool, but that was bad lip syncing. Before we leave best parts, I need to shout out Charlie Sheen. I thought he was great in this role.
Yeah, he was kind of playing himself, wasn't he?
He really was. And my second favorite scene was the final run back to the house. I just love a good scene like that. Jumping bushes and through houses. It's like, hey.
And when his sister sees him, but the mom doesn't, and the look in her face, and then she just starts going like driving
sibling
crazily.
bond was fun.
Hilarious.
Yeah. No, I liked from that scene when he ran through a house and then ran out into the backyard and went, "Dinner's ready."
I liked that too. That was funny. Also, really well filmed. I will give them on that one. Like filming the way he went in and through the house from the outside. That was well done.
You're absolutely right,
good.
Sean. Yeah, great camera work. I'm going to transition to worst parts.
I think I kind of like it's, as much as I like Ferris, he is a bit sociopathic. But I kind of like his sociopathy. Is that a word, Nicole? Sociopathy?
It is now.
No.
Okay. And, I think maybe it doesn't age very well because it's so... Oh, and this is so Gen X, this movie, right? Opt out, don't engage, outsmart the system. And I think, I know maybe that's a problem for today because I don't think it's understood.
I had a very specific one that I think didn't age well, and I was laughing that it's actually real, which is needing a secretary to dial a number for you. Like, he couldn't punch the number, and he says, "Dial that number for me," and then after she dials, he picks up the phone. It's so funny, but that actually happened.
Yeah.
In my early days, when I was doing global stuff, I had a PA that would link in calls, find people, link in calls for me, and then send them through. It was actually a thing that we used to do, weirdly.
Another worst thing, and this is a very 80s thing, 30-year-olds playing teenagers in movies.
Who was 30?
Cameron was.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Alan Ruck he was 29. Alan Ruck was 29 when he filmed this. That's close enough to 30 for me. And then the obvious big one, sorry to pick on you, Cameron's dad, but he loves the car and hates his wife. Like, that's a horrible existence for everyone.
Most people love their wife and hate their car.
I love my wife and love my car.
Living the dream.
Living the dream.
No, one thing I hate in movies, hate, is like breaking the fourth wall and that style of narration. It just, every time he turned to the camera to talk to us, I was like, ugh, gross, get out of here.
How did you like the ending after the credits?
It's so dumb.
Oh my God, I thought it was hilarious.
It is the best.
And by the way, when you're in a theater watching this back in 1987 or whatever year this was, I mean, that catches you off guard.
Yeah.
I could see how that would catch you off guard at the time.
It wasn't
But
done.
watching it in my living room, I was like, ew.
Okay, anything else before we go to favorite line? Oh, sorry, Sean.
I was just going to say, it's funny. I don't mind a well done fourth wall break. I'm not sure they nailed most of them. Some of them were fine, though. For me, it's just Ferris is an asshole. That's the worst part of the movie.
Yeah. And also, his parents suck. Treating your son and daughter so differently.
Okay. Can we talk about this for a second? Because there's... I don't know why this bothered me, but it really did. Nicole's right. Their treatment of one kid over the other is terrible. They're bad parents. But supposedly Ferris is the beloved, gets away with everything, et cetera, et cetera. Cameron comes from the rich family. Why is Ferris's sister then the one who has the nicest car of all the kids?
She probably worked for it.
And I also think Cameron had to work for his, because I think his rich parents are jerks. And they wouldn't... I mean, it sounds like the dad spends all of his time and money on that car. And then his son gets like a horrible car.
Well, if I was a rich parent, I would not give my kids everything. I'd make them work for what they have.
I mean, I think it's pretty well established that if you give your kids everything, they will turn out bad.
Yeah.
But
Well, look at Nicole. She turned out okay.
You never got me that dolphin.
Dolphin.
He promised me.
Did he?
Promised
Did
me.
he?
He swore.
Did you promise a dolphin, Olen? And first of all,
did.
okay, dude, you cannot do that.
Well, I did, but there was no timeline on it, so I haven't broken that promise yet.
Okay, but now Nicole actually probably understands that a captive dolphin is sad, so she probably doesn't want one anymore.
It's not sad if you put a saddle on it and ride it. Then it has a purpose.
Then it has a porpoise.
oh god, get us to a new category quick.
Quick, move on.
So, Sean, I can transition from your question about the car and why the sister had the nice car into favorite lines. Ferris says, "I asked for a car, I got a computer."
Luckiest kid ever.
Yeah.
I have lots of favorite lines here, so I'll let everyone else go
Well,
first.
I'm gonna hit the big one first. So he's very popular. The sportos, the motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, dickheads, they all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude. So a couple of things on that line. First of all, it was ad-libbed. Good job, Edie McClurg. That was fantastic. And Mathew, I want to know, which one were you? You weren't a sporto. You weren't a motorhead. Geek, slut. You weren't a blood. Geek, slut, wastoid, dweeby, dickhead. Which one are you?
I was actually called Freak. So me and my friends were called the Freaks by the others in high school.
I was also called a freak. I was one of the freaks.
Yeah, sorry about that. I apologized already.
That's why we get along, Nicole. We're freak blood.
Freak, 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 freak.
Get your freak on. Get your freak on.
Okay, I got a ton of good lines. I don't know why this one just made me laugh, but do you have a kiss for daddy?
Ew, that was one of my worst parts. It's so gross. Don't make out with your girlfriend while you're pretending to be her father. That's nasty.
No kink shaming on this podcast, Nicole.
Yeah,
you know the
Nicole.
rule.
I don't care about if that's your kink, but don't actually pretend to be her father. I draw the line of where I can shame at incest. I will shame incest or pretending to do incest.
Wow, Mathew, we're starting to get rules on this podcast.
We are. I feel dirty for letting that guy call me daddy.
Well, I don't think that counts as incest if you're not pretending to be his actual father.
That's true.
That's the difference for me. Call him daddy all you want. Just don't pretend that he's your father.
Yeah, call him daddy, not father.
Exactly.
I have a line here, Nicole, that I think you liked. I'm going to wait and see if you get it.
Okay. I have quite a few, so I don't know if I'll get...
Okay, go for it.
Well, my favorite was, "Gummy bear, it's been in my pocket. It's real warm."
That is such a funny line, Nicole.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it, and it also reminded me of a party I went to recently where someone just kept putting mini eggs in their pocket and then offering people mini eggs, and they were like melting. I was like, why would you do that? Their pocket was full of melted chocolates.
Okay, how about an Ed Rooney quote? What's the score? Nothing. Who's winning? The Bears.
Yeah, that's how fans speak, right?
Yep.
You produce a body and I'll release Sloan. Roller corpse in here.
Yeah, that was good. Okay, here's the line I thought you would like, Nicole, from Ferris's sister. I have my father's gun and a scorching case of herpes.
That was my next one. That was my favorite.
Okay, see,
That
I
was my
called it.
favorite behind the gummy bear one.
Okay.
And I did say that multiple times last night after I watched the movie.
Sean, favorite lines?
I mean, for me, the favorite line is the one I gave in the beginning.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
Like
that was a
moves
great
pretty
one.
fast.
There was
a
another.
good one.
There was another one that was similar to that. I'm not going to sit on my ass as the events of that affect me unfold to determine the course of my life.
I really like that one as well.
A person should not believe in an ism. He should believe in himself. I really liked. I liked when Cameron was in Egypt's land. Let my Cameron go. That was funny. And okay, Bueller is what
Classic.
we used to say to each other. And the very end line of the movie: "You're still here. It's over. Go home."
All great stuff, guys. All great stuff.
I had a teacher in middle school who, anytime the class wasn't listening, would yell Bueller.
Really
Yep,
fun.
all the time.
I do it to Mathew once a week when he's slow responding to me. You guys want to hear how this did?
I'm not slow in responding to you, Olen. I'm being choiceful.
And I'm choosing to ignore you.
I will.
No,
I'm gonna
no
add.
dolphin for you.
Oh, poor Nicole. I'm gonna add one last line that I did like because it's from the same police call conversation with Jeannie. But the what was it? Look, it's real nice that you hope my brother is feeling better, but I'm in danger. Okay. She just can't get away from everyone caring about the brother.
That's so
Right?
funny.
And that just highlighted how unfairly she's treated, that her life is in danger and they're still like, how's your brother? We love that guy.
Honestly, the
Hilarious.
movie from her perspective would probably have been funnier.
It would be so
I
funny to film it from everybody's different perspective, like film it 3 or 4 times.
That'd be interesting.
That would also probably be a better movie.
So I think you guys already know that the movie was a big hit because we've been talking about it a lot, but I'm going to tell you exactly how big. So according to Box Office Mojo worldwide, Ferris Bueller's Day Off was the 10th biggest earner at the box office in 1986. So this was the year that Top Gun was the biggest earner at the box office, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off was beat by films like Crocodile Dundee and Aliens.
Interesting.
It was pretty successful, though, at 10th place, and Ferris Bueller beat out a lot of good movies like Stand By Me and beat out another Hughes movie, Pretty in Pink, which we've also done on this podcast. Nicole, I'm assuming you like Pretty in Pink better.
I didn't like either of them.
Out of Africa was the Oscar winner this year, and I actually prefer the romance between Ferris and Sloane over Dennis and Karen. So, by the numbers, the budget for this film was $6.3 million. Any guesses?
6.3
40,
million budget.
40 million.
That's what I was going to say. I'm going to Price is Right you. I'm going to go 41 million.
30 million.
$70 million.
Oh my god.
Made over 10 times its money back. Hughes was really economical with the movies, right? Like he could make a movie for a few million, and I would love to add up his total box office for all his movies. It must be gigantic.
Do you think all the budget went into throwing the Ferrari over the edge?
Well, Sean, that was a shell only. They couldn't afford the real car, and they actually said the shell was expensive enough as it was.
I imagine. Yeah. I mean, even in those days, that would probably not have been a cheap car.
I've got some fun trivia, but before I get there, we have to
Olen.
do Rotten Tomatoes.
Olen.
Yes, sir.
So I just did the calculation here. Total box office of films he directed was about 1.6 billion US dollars.
Yeah, the guy was a money-making machine.
Yep.
Okay, Rotten Tomatoes. How many critics said this was good, and how many of the audience said this was good out of 100? Who cares to go first?
I like to make Mathew go first because I like to Price is Right him.
85 and 95.
I'm going to drop the critics slightly because of comedy. So I'm going to say 80. And then I'm going to push audience up slightly and go 97.
Nicole,
I'm going to go 90, 95.
you guys all have good scores. So critics 83, audience 92.
Boom.
So it's generally beloved. And so that works out to Nicole, you had a 10, Sean, you had an 8, and Mathew, you had a 5. So Mathew wins again.
Boo.
Okay, here's your trivia, folks. So this movie was written in 6 days. Can you imagine a movie that makes, let me see, $63 million profit written in 6 days? It's unbelievable.
How much is
Pretty
that?
impressive.
How much are you making per day then?
Well, I mean, it's $10 million a day for the writing, I guess.
Cool.
The parade scene, a lot of the people dancing, those dancing scenes, a lot of them aren't even extras. They're just regular people that Hughes caught candidly dancing while filming, and he just filmed them and kept it in the movie.
How did he quickly grab them and get them to sign release forms?
I do not know.
Okay.
We'll get a lawyer on a future episode and ask him. Charlie Sheen stayed awake for 48 hours prior to filming this to look like an authentic stoner. Well done.
Charlie Sheen probably always stayed up 48 hours straight.
That's true. It probably wasn't for this
I
movie.
remember his lines.
They called for extras for the parade. 10,000 people showed up.
Fun.
Oh, and Mathew, John Hughes personally designed Ferris's room to represent how he thought Ferris's mind would be.
Cool.
So, Nicole, do you remember this fact? Because I think I said it before. Matthew Broderick and Aaron Gray got engaged after this film.
I did not know that.
But now he's married to Sarah Jessica Parker. They've been married for a long time.
And finally, Hughes said he had Matthew Broderick in mind when he wrote this film and said no one else could play it because only Broderick or James Stewart at 15 years old could deliver that charm and keep it from being a scammer role.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't think Matthew Broderick's that charming.
Oh, he totally is.
I think he is, but maybe it's because we grew up with him.
I think he just has a vibe that I don't like. Something about him. Maybe it's because you guys think he's charming in this, but I just think he's kind of a dick. So maybe it's that.
I think if I met Matthew Broderick, we'd be friends.
I believe it.
I bet he has a dolphin.
Probably.
Okay.
I bet his dad bought him a dolphin.
Woker joke. There's an obvious one in here. I'm going to tell you what it is because of the silence. A principal going to a student's house and breaking and entering.
Yeah.
And I asked AI what would happen if he did that today, and it says 2.5 years in jail.
I mean, I feel like that's just breaking and entering.
It's breaking and entering, but like extra creepy.
Yeah,
This is Chicago. If he did it now, he'd be shot.
true.
Well, she had her father's gun in a scorching case of herpes, so he
There
could have
you
been
go.
shot anyway.
By the way, Jennifer Grey, great kick. That front kick to Rooney's face,
That was one of my best parts as well, and more than one kick.
well executed. Yep. However you guys felt about this movie, I promise you there's others who liked it more or less than you. For this movie, there were 228 10-star reviews out of 731. With many people calling it...
Jesus.
Is that really what they said in the reviews?
Wow.
I can't believe they said that. It sounds just like one of my sneezes.
With many people calling it the best of the 80s and a handful calling it the best movie of all time. Mr. Six says, with Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Hughes creates a person and a time in life that just about anyone who's ever been a teenager can relate to. I'm guessing you guys disagree.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to relate to a sociopath because they don't feel empathy.
T. Crossland says, the film's brilliance lies in how it disguises its true emotional core. It's not about Ferris at all, it's about Cameron. Matthew, you called it.
There you go.
Jackson W. says there will never be another teen movie better than this. And finally, Callian, I must say this film made me cry more than any other. Oh, come on. You know that when the Ferrari went out the window, you were in tears also.
It's true. I was.
Now we hear from people who liked it less. And for this movie, there were only 25 people who hated it enough to give it 1 star out of 10. She's a Snake says, basically, Ferris is a rich boy from the suburbs who takes advantage of his family and friends and treats everyone around him like crap. He's selfish, rude, and totally irresponsible.
I apologize. I did write that one.
Rad Heek says, the movie is a dark spot for parental-kid relationships. I feel sorry for those who liked such a movie, but I would never want my kids to see such a movie. Here's the one I like. Jane 42. This is the McDonald's burger of movies. It's popular, but is there any nutritional value? I think not.
I like that.
She missed the point.
And finally, Sonora Smith. The movie was excruciatingly painful to watch as the teenagers went out of their way to be unkind and inconsiderate to adults.
Oh,
This is
please.
not okay.
With all these people are like Cameron's dad writing this.
Okay, well, do you think Siskel and Ebert liked it any better, Mathew?
I think they liked it because Chicago, first of all. And that's where, what's his name is from in the Tribune? They're both from Chicago.
Both of them. Both of them.
Both
Yeah.
from Chicago. So I think it's the 2 thumbs up for both of them.
Well, this is one of the fun ones where they fought. Siskel
really?
said he was. Yeah, Siskel said he was very disappointed with the film. He said he's a fan of both Hughes and Broderick, but neither had anything interesting to contribute in this film. He slammed it.
He missed the point.
So Ebert took the opportunity to slam Siskel and basically called him a movie snob.
Haha.
Ebert called it sweet, fun, entertaining film. So 1 thumbs up and 1 thumb down.
Interesting.
Okay, remake. Does this deserve a remake or sequel?
No, you can't do it. You have to leave this to its own beauty.
Okay, well, first I'll tell you that they did, as they did with all 80s movies, Ferris Bueller, the TV show, 1 season in 1990.
Huh.
But if I may, can I make a pitch for a sequel?
Sure.
Sure.
I wrote it out. It's called Ferris Bueller's Next Day Off. Decades after that perfect day, life hasn't quite gone the way anyone expected. Ferris Bueller is still hustling, now a smooth-talking timeshare salesman whose charm is starting to wear thin. Cameron, long estranged from his father, has carved out a quiet life as a respected but reclusive industrial designer. Sloane Peterson, she's a polished, high-powered CEO, fully in control and long past Ferris. When Cameron's father dies, he unexpectedly inherits the one thing he thought was long gone, a pristine Ferrari 250 GT. Unsure what to do with it and maybe looking for closure, he reaches out to the only 2 people who truly understand what it represents. What starts as a reunion turns into one last impulsive decision, a road trip. Cue a chaotic one-night spiral with hangover-level consequences, lost cars, bad decisions, unexpected detours, long-buried truths finally surfacing, but this time they're not skipping responsibility, they're confronting it.
Oh, that sounds like a good movie.
And my pitch line, they pulled off the perfect day once, now they have to survive the one that finally catches up with them.
Make it. Make it.
Don't you think that would be fun?
Could we have Timothy Chalamet as Ferris and Paul Mescal as Cameron and Zendaya as Sloane?
I mean, you could, but I'd like to remake it with all the originals.
Okay.
That wouldn't really get across the point that they've aged.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
I think it'd be fun. Anyhow,
Actually,
that's my
they've
pitch.
gotten younger because they're not 30.
Yeah, so you can do their preschool.
So I think I know how this is going to go for this episode, but I have to do it for the record. Is this movie too old or pure gold?
So this movie is pure gold, but not for the reason people think. That it's pure gold because it's not just fantasy, because there's that anxiety underneath of if you don't take control of your life, you might not actually live it, which is a good lesson for us all and makes it pure gold for me.
I'm going to say pure gold just because, you know, I live with many of the lines and the iconic scenes in my head, like since the day this movie came out. And I like the idea of a fun adventure day off.
I think it's too old.
Yeah, for me it's too old. It's a good message buried behind a cruel person.
It just had no substance. Like all the things you guys are saying, it's like they didn't really touch on any of that. They could have done it better.
Well, I have to say, you know, this is a great title for this podcast because part of what we're trying to do is figure out if these movies hold up, right? Mathew and I remember it as being great, and it didn't hold up. But I appreciate you guys watching it,
Held up for me.
and there was lots to talk about on it. So,
It's good.
Certainly was.
Okay, guys, I've got to run and do another podcast, so I will talk to you later.
Good luck.
good luck with that. See you later.
Okay, love you.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.